Good morning. Last day of March, they say it's supposed to come in like a lamb, go out like a lion, or vice versa. I think March has been very lamb like for us today. And here we are on the last day of our Atomic Habits book club as well. As I have been mentioning this week, as we look at some of the advanced things that you might need to know when you're intentionally authoring your life, there are things that get in the way of stepping into your future self. Today, I just want to talk about how we can end up clinging to the story that holds us to our old behavior. You will sometimes hear the term the hypnosis of the diagnosis. And that might be a medical diagnosis. It might just be something you have told yourself, a label that you have put on yourself that falsely limits you, that holds you back from stepping into those new behaviors. Now, that might sound like I have ADHD, I can't focus, I can't stay consistent. Well, in the advanced chapter, you'll notice that you also consider your personality and how you can work with your personality to put things in your environment, build accountability, actually work with the way that you are to become that next level future self. And in reality, the more we reinforce those labels, like, I don't have that kind of energy, I'm too shy, I'm not outgoing enough, I don't have the time, those labels become this prophetic outcome, right? What is that term? It's not a prophetic fallacy, but it is a fallacy that we say this is true, and so it becomes true. I don't have time, and so I don't make the time. I don't prioritize it into my time. I have ADHD, so I can't stay consistent. Well, what's interesting too is none of those things are true all of the time. Whatever pain you are in, physical, emotional, whether it's fatigue, anxiety, distractibility, irritability, depression, none of them are 100% true all of the time. People with ADHD can sleep. They don't get distracted from sleeping. They don't get distracted from their favorite program, depending on the day, right? You also notice that some things make you more that than other things that make you less that. So if some things make you more anxious, feeling rushed will make you more anxious. Not taking the time to prepare, not taking the time to practice, not reaching out for support, testing your ideas. You know what makes you that story. And that means that you also know what is the opposite, the flip side of the coin, the thing that makes you less that, less anxious, less exhausted, less distractible. Bringing that into your awareness, bringing that story into your awareness with the intention of making it actually the past is magical. There's so much about working with your brain that you'll hear me refer to as feeling like magic. Your past doesn't determine your future, much as people will claim that. And in fact, when you're looking at somebody else and determining, is this person going to have high integrity? Are they going to be reliable? You will typically look at their past. When you're looking at taking over the authorship of your own life with intentionality, however, all the things change, right? Now everything's open for possibility because of that decision. So as you make the decision to move forward, another thing to be aware of is that feeling that comes to you of, I've never succeeded in this before, why will I do it today? That defeatist lurking gremlin that can come along, recognize him and go, no, that's the old story, right? Having a reason why you can change, to be able to say it out loud so your unconscious mind hears you loud and clear, can be very valuable. Right? This can be another mantra that you bring in. And mantras are very powerful because you can anchor intentionality and state to them. So the sense of I've got this, I am powerful, I am bold and brilliant can actually be anchored into, no, that's the old story. Think about yourself 3 years ago. You were very different then than you are today. You have learned and changed so much. And in fact, looking back at you from 3 years ago, probably a little bit embarrassing. It's supposed to be. We get taught that we should avoid uncomfortable emotions a great deal in our society, often by companies like Netflix, right? It would distract yourself, amuse yourself, entertain yourself. Hey, look at this new movie that's showing up this week for you. When in reality, discomfort is part of life, right? Life is messy. Life has discomfort in it, especially if you're growing. If you're not embarrassed by the person you were last year, you're not growing. And as you look out at your future self 3 years from now, you can't imagine how amazing that person is going to be. You just can't. Just as that 3 years ago, you couldn't imagine being how amazing you are right now. You are growing, you're developing. That ability to be aware that you are in a timeline and stretch out the time is something that doesn't come naturally to people, but it can be something that you install with some practice. The other discomfort that is really valuable to recognize is good, is desirable, is imposter syndrome. That sense of, who am I to be doing this? I'm not ready. I don't know how. This is a little scary. You'll want a little bit of that, right? I don't know how to do this thing that I have not yet done. When you put it that way, it just sounds logical. So just that sense of I'm stretching, which can absolutely, wave back and forth between I'm stretching, I'm so bold, and oh my goodness, I have imposter syndrome. What if people figure out that I've never done this before, or I can't do this? This is where transparency and authenticity can be really valuable. Talking to clients and saying, hey, I'm trying this new thing, really excited by it. I'd love to have you be my guinea pig. Then nobody has to figure out that you've never done this thing that you're trying. You just tell them. And you'll still feel a tiny, tiny bit of imposter syndrome. Excellent. That's where you want to be. Stop trying to get rid of those emotions, those feelings, those states that show you that you're growing. Embrace them. And notice that as a leader in your community and in your business, you chose that. You chose bravery. You chose to grow. And you committed to it, whether you knew it or not, as soon as you opened that business. If the imposter syndrome is huge, if the shame of who you used to be is huge, you can get rid of that. You can learn how to manage that, whether that's through hypnosis or coaching, whether that's through therapy, depending on how big it is. You don't have to have massive discomfort. You want those little mild embarrassment and imposter syndrome. That's how you know that you are balancing in the right place. You are where you should be. Thank you so much for participating in this book club with me. I don't know about you, but man, I have grown. I have added so much richness to my life. Some of them, the things that I started doing, I didn't even plan at the beginning. I've added some habits that really feel like self-love, that really are self-love. Choosing to author your own life is a place of ultimate self-respect, self-control, and self-love. So congratulations on embarking more deeply into this path with me this month. Love to hear from you, and I don't know what we'll work on next month. Something cool. I look forward to seeing you in the LinkedIn group. If you're not already in there, you're seeing this in one of the lives, whether it's YouTube or Linked Live, and you want an invitation, let me know. Happy to bring you on board. Have a fantastic, rainy, warm day today because the cold's coming back tomorrow, at least if you're in Ontario. Bye-bye.